from what I understand, when you had the falling out or when you ended with the Young Turks, they came in with the standard accusations of sexual inappropriate conduct.
So yeah, that was so funny. So, boy, they're such amateurs, though. They couldn't pull it off. So when they were lying about Aaron Mate and saying he was taking money from the Russians and the Syrians and all this stuff, and they were lying about me about Force the Vote, and none of it was sticking, and they were taking big hits, right? Because I was exposing them. All I was doing was showing what they were saying. And so they really wanted to silence me, and they couldn't think. And so they were like, oh, I know, #MeToo. So Anna Kasparian DMs me. So one time Anna Kasparian came into the newsroom, I don't know, around 2015, 16. I don't remember when it was. But she used to dress like you would. She would dress in a way that would reveal her genitalia.
Sorry. So, may I ask the absolutely inappropriate question? First of all, I can no longer hear the word genitalia without thinking of John LaJoie. I don't know if you know who he is. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sending you something after this, which will make you laugh. She's wearing underwear, correct? It's not like this. It's not.
So she had on thongs. She had on a thong underwear. How do you know that she was wearing a thong underwear, Jimmy? Well, because her skirt was so short. It wasn't like a tight skirt. It was a poofy one. And when she walked in, she bent over to put her purse on the floor. She was wearing these very high heels, right? So when she bends, she had to bend over extra low, right? 4 more inches over. And when she did that, she was flashing everybody in the newsroom her entire ass, and I could see her vagina being covered by a thong. And I felt embarrassed for her, and I tried to give her a heads up. And what I said was, hey, Anna, nice news skirt, which I thought would be like, hey, you're flashing everybody. So the sexual harasser in this situation was Anna Kasparian.
Well, I got to ask you 2 questions here. First of all, did you say nice new skirt? Like a new
news?
Okay, fine. And that is because,
like, hey, that's not appropriate. That's not appropriate for here.
Let me ask you this.
You can't come in and flash everybody. If I did that, if I bent over and flashed my naked ass and I showed a jock strap holding my balls, I would get in trouble. That would be considered an assault.
There is no
harass me. If I walked into a newsroom in a jock strap ready to do the news, that would be on me. I would get a visit from Human Resources because I was being inappropriate.
I'm picturing Party Boy from Jackass right now, like I think Chris Pontius who had that as a skit. But Jimmy, I haven't dated in a while, and I haven't worked in an office where that would even be a realm of possibility. But when she's bending over to put her purse down, it's not out of necessity. Is your impression that this is to show, what's the word I'm looking for? To be exhibitionist?
Well, I don't know if she did that on purpose to be an exhibitionist. I don't know how you could do something like that and not be aware of what you're doing. Because when I said that, hey, nice news skirt, which was pretty innocuous, I didn't realize what was going to happen. The whole studio erupted in laughter because they were all as terrified as I was. Like, what the fuck's going on? What in the fuck does she know what's happening? Right. And so when I go, hey, Anna, nice news skirt, everybody like, oh, and I didn't think that far ahead. I didn't realize that everyone was going to laugh like that. And everyone did. And she turned around and her face turned beet red. And I felt sorry for her, because I was just trying to give her a fucking friendly heads up anyway. I didn't mean for her to be humiliated. I didn't humiliate her. She did it to herself. I used to say that I did, but she did that. I just pointed out what she was doing. She should have already been humiliating because she's flashing the whole fucking studio. So when she then walks out and she insults me, she says something about my old man pants or something. I don't know what she said. And then I realized, she was younger. I was older. I don't know how old she was back then, 27. I don't know how old she was. I was probably 40 or older. And I don't know what and so I was like, oh, this is stupid. I don't need this headache at work, and I don't want her to be angry at me. And so the next day I wrote her a card saying, hey, you don't ever have to worry. You dress any way you want. You want to humiliate yourself and flash the newsroom? I didn't say that. But I go, hey, you dress any way you want. You don't ever have to worry about me ever mentioning again. No problem. My apologies. And I gave her a card and I gave her a gift as a gentleman, like a gentleman would do. And then, so 7 years later or whatever, when she's lying about me and Force the Vote and Aaron Mate as an independent journalist, anti-war journalist, they can't get us to stop telling the truth. She DMs me saying, "You remember when you wrote me a card because you sexually harassed me?" And I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a lose for you." So I just went on the air immediately. I showed her stupid DM. She told me she was going to launch a fake hashtag B, and I just showed it on air. And then Cenk Uygur goes on air and tells that story that I was looking up girls' skirts at work or something, as if I went into the newsroom and I laid down on the floor and let women walk over me or something, instead of what exactly happened. So he tells this story for like a half hour about what a pervert Jimmy Dore is because he's looking up big girl skirts. And then Anna comes in and goes, "That's not what happened."
Oh,
They told a totally, and then she tells a totally different story. The story she tells was that Jimmy said I had sexy legs, and he did it in front of my journalism students, and that humiliated her. That's what you sure Jimmy didn't say you had a winning personality and a nice smile? What other horrible thing did Jimmy Dore say about you? He had this like so anyway, so that nobody believed it. And now Anna Kasparian has burned that. And so women should be angry at Anna Kasparian because now other women who actually are going to be harassed won't be believed because of liars like Cenk and Anna Kasparian, who tried to use the hashtag Me Too movement to attack somebody who was telling the truth that they were lying about. They're the most manipulative, nefarious people I've ever seen in my life. And everybody else sees it too. So it's not like I have to spend a lot of energy convincing people. It's obvious what happened. Nobody believed them for even a second.
And it's an amazing thing. And no good deed goes unpunished. The apology,
That's
it gets
exactly
gets
right.
weaponized. Yeah.
That's exactly, she weaponized a gentleman, a gentlemanly act I did out of respect for her as a coworker. She was my boss at the time, by the way. I wasn't the boss. She was the executive producer of the show. She booked the show. She booked me. She didn't stop. And then she pretend like she was too scared to say anything. Meanwhile, every day she's on air telling people to go fuck themselves. Her pinned tweet is calling somebody a fuck boy. That's her pinned tweet. So this idea that she was a shrinking violet, but she had to endure sexual harassment from Jimmy Dore. Jesus Christ. When the Mueller report came out, Cenk Uygur just pretended like they didn't Russiagate, that they were talking about something else the whole time. When I saw that, I had to get the fuck out of there. And so I left on good terms. And then when I started to do Force the Vote, Anna Kasparian went online and said that I was, she didn't trust me, that I was doing it all for so I'm like, that's the executive producer of the fucking company I just built up their fucking membership for 10 goddamn years. And now as soon as I leave, and I leave on good terms without calling you the fucking Russiagating McCarthyite pieces of shit that you are, I went out on a good, and you're going to have your executive producer of your show do this in public. And so when I pushed back against her, Cenk then again started slaring me. And I was like, oh my God, he's so stupid. They don't realize I know where all the bodies are buried. I've been there for 10 fucking years. And so then we went to war and I destroyed them, and they had to fucking lie about me. And then I had to point out where they're lying. And everybody knows that. Now everybody knows that they used to post revenge porn on their website. They wouldn't have known that had Anna Kasparian not launched a fake hashtag Me Too against them. They used to post upskirt photos of mentally ill celebrities on their website against that celebrity's will for money. Nobody would have known that if they didn't come at me. They used to do a segment called Celebrity Camel Toes, where they would zoom in on a celebrity wearing yoga pants, show their vaginal lips, and you tried to guess which celebrity it was, and then they would humiliate and shame them. Nobody would know that they did that as a regular segment. Anna Kasparian produced and hosted that. They wouldn't know that, except they tried to come at me, and I exposed that. They wouldn't know that Anna Kasparian, under the guise of Cenk Uygur gave her an assignment to go sex up to a guy at a mall, a random guy, flirt with him, try to get him to buy you something, and then humiliate him on air. And that's exactly what nobody would know, that Cenk said he wanted to make it okay to have sex with animals as a straight face, because if you're pleasuring a horse, that would be okay. Nobody would know that they said all those things if they didn't try to come at me. But when they did, I was like, oh, this is Cenk again. His greatest strength is his ego. His biggest Achilles heel is ego. And he came at me and I fucking buried them. They went from having 17 to 18,000 live stream viewers to having 3. And I've been tripling their fucking numbers ever since. Now they're in bed with YouTube. They're a YouTube partner. They've actually been their first news YouTube partner. They've been sponsored and supported by YouTube, and they've been given advantageous algorithms, and they're still sucking. And I still double their live stream numbers, and they're fucking over. So I don't know who watches that show, but and if they were normal people, they would take a lesson from it. But they're not normal people. What Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian are borderline personalities. They're narcissistic personality disorders, and they could never admit when they're wrong, ever. Anna Kasparian tweeted out a doctored video to make it look like Aaron Mate was saying he liked President Assad of Syria. A doctored video. When it was pointed out to her that that video was doctored, she didn't apologize. She said it doesn't make any difference. So that's the kind of people they are. When she did a fake hashtag Me Too, said it doesn't make any difference. They went from going be against the anti-establishment and right wing to becoming a right-wing establishment McCarthy smearers. They're the propagandists now. They're the ones repeating the CIA talking points and smearing independent anti-war journalists. So that's that. So I think we've talked enough about that.